Most people do not wake up in the morning and say, "Today I will misunderstand the people I love." But it happens anyway. Not because they do not care, not because they are trying to hurt anyone, but because in real conversations, many of us are not truly listening. We are preparing our answer. We are defending ourselves. We are solving too quickly. We are hearing the words but missing the meaning underneath them. That's where deep listening begins. Maya believes she was a good listener. She nodded at the right moments. She gave advice quickly. She always had something useful to say. When someone brought her a problem, she tried to solve it. When someone sounded worried, she tried to calm them down. When someone complained, she tried to make the conversation efficient. In her mind, that was listening. But Maya did not yet understand something important. Sometimes the fastest answer is the thing that makes another person feel most alone. One morning, while Maya was making coffee, her 10-year-old son, Leo, walked into the kitchen and said, "I don't want to go to school today." Maya did not turn around. "Not again, Leo," she said. "You have to go. Everyone has things they don't want to do." Leo looked down at his backpack. "But I really don't want to." Maya sighed. "You'll be fine. Just get ready." The conversation ended, but the problem did not. On the way to school, Leo went silent. He stared out the window, holding his backpack like it was heavier than usual. Maya thought she had handled the situation, but she had only handled the sentence. She had heard, "I don't want to go to school," but she had not heard the fear underneath it. And this is one of the first lessons of deep listening. The words are not always the whole message. Later that day, at work, the same pattern appeared again. James, Maya's colleague, came to her desk and said, "I'm worried about the client meeting. The reports still don't feel ready." Maya immediately replied, "We already checked them. The team did its best. Don't stress too much." James paused. "That's not really what I mean." But Maya was already typing an email. "Well, we can't redo everything now," she said. James walked away. Again, Maya thought she had responded, but she had not listened. She answered the surface. She missed the meaning. That evening, when Maya came home, her husband Daniel was sitting quietly at the dining table. "You've been distant lately," he said. Maya felt her body tighten. "Here we go," she thought. Another criticism. She crossed her arms and said, "I'm busy. I'm working, taking care of Leo, managing everything. What else do you want me to do?" Daniel looked tired. "I'm not attacking you," he said. But Maya was already defending herself. She was not listening to what he meant. She was listening to what she feared he meant. The room became quiet, but it was not the kind of silence that heals. It was the kind of silence that builds a wall. Deep listening does not begin when we find the perfect sentence. It often begins when we realize that our usual way of responding is not working anymore. That night, after Leo went to bed and Daniel stopped talking, Maya sat alone in the living room. For the first time that day, she noticed something uncomfortable. 3 people have tried to speak to her: her son, her colleague, her husband. And each time she had been quick, practical, and confident. But none of them had felt heard. That was the moment Maya began to understand the first lesson of deep listening. Hearing is not the same as understanding. The next morning, Leo came into the kitchen again. He was quieter than usual. Maya almost repeated her old response, but this time she stopped. She put her phone face down. She turned away from the coffee machine. She took the breath. Before listening to Leo, she listened to herself. She noticed her impatience, her fear of being late, her desire to fix the problem quickly, and that pause changed everything. Because deep listening is not only about focusing on the other person. It also begins with noticing what is happening inside you. Then Maya said, I want to understand what is making school feel hard right now. I'm not going to rush you. Leo did not answer immediately, and this was the difficult part. Maya wanted to feel the silence. She wanted to ask, is it homework? Is it your teacher? Did something happen? But she held the silence. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then Leo whispered, some kids laughed at me yesterday. Maya felt her heart drop. Yesterday, Maya would have said, ignore them. But today, she stayed present. She looked at the Leo gently, not intensely. She did not stare like a detective. She simply stayed with him. That must have felt really lonely, she said. Leo nodded. Then he said more, not because Maya had found the perfect answer, but because she had created a space where the real story would appear. That is deep listening, not forcing the truth out of someone, but making it safe enough to come forward. At work, Maya tried the same thing with James. Instead of defending the reports, she became curious. She said, when you say the reports don't feel ready, what worries you most? James leaned back. The numbers are there, he said, but the client won't trust them. They need a clearer story. For the first time, Maya understood James was not attacking the team. He was noticing a deeper problem. The report was complete, but the message was not clear, so Maya reflected it back. So, it's not only about whether the report is complete, she said. It's about whether the client can actually understand and trust it. James pointed at her. Exactly. That one word changed the meaning. Exactly. Sometimes the strongest sign of listening is not giving advice. It's helping another person hear their own thought more clearly. Reflection is powerful because it says, I'm not just waiting to speak. I'm trying to understand what you mean. That evening, Maya sat with Daniel again. This time, she did not begin with defense. She said, when you said I've been distant, I heard it as criticism. But I want to understand what you actually meant. Daniel was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I miss feeling like we are on the same team. Maya looked down. That sentence reached a place her arguments never could. She could have replied with explanations. She could have listed everything she had done that week. But instead, she asked, when did you start feeling that way? The conversation became slower, not easier, but more honest. They talked about exhaustion, about parenting, about work, about small moments where both of them had felt alone in the same house. At one point, Daniel said something sharp. You never listen until everything becomes a problem. Maya felt their old reaction rise inside her. Defend, attack, prove him wrong. But deep listening does not mean accepting disrespect. So she said calmly, I want to understand what you are saying, but I cannot continue if we speak to each other with blame. If we can slow down, I will stay in this conversation. Daniel paused, then he nodded. Okay, that's fair. And that was another lesson Maya needed to learn. Listening does not mean losing yourself. Real listening includes care, but includes limits. Over the next few weeks, Maya did not become perfect. She still interrupted sometimes. She still gave advice too fast. She still caught herself preparing answers while someone else was speaking, but now she noticed it. And noticing changed everything. When Leo paused, she did not rush. When James raised the concern, she became curious. When Daniel shared the feeling, she tried to hear the need beneath the words. And when a conversation became harmful, she remembered that a boundary could also be an act of respect. Deep listening did not give Maya a magic sentence. It gave her a difficult posture toward people. Less control, more presence, less judgment, more curiosity, less rushing, more silence, less fixing, and more reflection. One evening, Leo sat beside her on the sofa and said, "Mom, can I tell you something?" Maya closed her laptop. She turned toward him, and this time, before asking, "What should I say?" she asked herself, "Am I really here?" That is where deep listening begins. Not with the perfect answer, but with the decision to be present enough that other person can feel safe, heard, and understood. And maybe for the first time, they can understand themselves more clearly too. Deep listening is not just about hearing words. It's about creating a space where people feel safe enough to tell the truth, and sometimes safe enough to understand themselves.